That door, someone's put a bit of lead piping on that door. It's still not work. Look.
No.
Shut that door, Billy. Thanks, Bill. Welcome back to Last Hour Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Goldstein Andy Townsend. The legend is alongside me. Still to come, we'll be getting team news ahead of a busy night of Carabao Cup football. But now, talking of that, Man United, they're in action. They face Grimsby. It's live right here on talkSPORT. So how important is this competition to Ruben Amorim?
Full-time whistle has blown. The Manchester United players sink to the ground in frustration. It's finished Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.
The price of playing for this club, you have to win no matter what. And people just are going to look for the results, but I'm really proud of my players.
I think United are going to overachieve this season.
The teams that you're looking at finishing, maybe 12th and below, those are the sides that Man United need to win against.
Fulham 1, Manchester United 1, Emil Smith-Rowe, and he steered in the equaliser.
We can create chances. We did the shot in the right way. We missed the penalty. We need to move on.
Big old night is, isn't it? We know European football for Man United. A stuttering start to the season, this in the FA Cup. The only likely chances of silverware for Manchester United. The build-up to the game has been dominated by the uncertainty over midfielder Kobbie Mainoo's future, and the United boss Ruben Amorim has been speaking about the midfielder in the build-up to tonight's game.
He's fighting for the position now with Bruno. And I changed two midfielders. I let Mason Mount there because we want to score a goal. And then when I change, I felt that the team needed to return to one holder midfielder near Bruno. So we just need to fight the position with Bruno, like should be in the Manchester United.
He's a competition for him.
Yeah, for Bruno, and then he's going to play with Bruno, but in the moment he's fighting in training with Bruno for the position.
It makes me quite angry hearing that, because I don't think he's a number 10. And I think his best position is a Casemiro role.
Well, Bruno's playing alongside Casemiro at the moment.
Yeah, but I think, yes, he is because of the formation we're playing, which is the wrong formation. But, I mean, that's another story for another day. But
why does he identify that he's fighting with Bruno?
Well, my understanding is, and it's a good understanding, if that makes sense, is that he sees Kobbie Mainoo as a player that plays much further forward than the one that Kobbie Mainoo and the rest of us think he should be playing in. And because he wants to play him a little bit further up, I mean, there was a game last season towards the end of it that he was playing Kobbie as a false number 9.
Yeah.
And because he wants him to play that role, and that's maybe a more physical role, as in more miles covered on the pitch, and that's not Kobbie's strength.
Yeah.
That he's not going to have the opportunity to play that role. And that means you're taking away a player from that Man United side that's not just a really good player in his preferred position, which is just in front, the Casemiro role, but also you're taking a young player, a Man United, a homegrown player, out of that first team. And there's a real danger that he could... I don't think he'll leave in this window. I really don't. But, oh my goodness.
It's like he's made his mind up on him already. And the bit I'm sort of a little bit surprised with a young coach like Ruben Amorim is why he hasn't got anybody... If he looked at any of Kobbie Mainoo's games when he first come into the team, he would see a very talented, very gifted player. I'm staggered that he can't seem to find a reason to want to improve the boy. It'd be nice to hear your coach turn around and say, I tell you what, Kobbie, he's a homegrown boy and we want to improve him. We want to make him better. We think we can. Whether that's a different position, whether that's a different role, well, that happens. And as a player, you have to adapt to that. Not everyone sees you where you see yourself on the field. But I'm telling you now, I watched Bruno Fernandes first half against Fulham was Fulham's best player. Right, every time he got it, he gave it away. He got caught on it. Obviously, the pen is a different thing altogether, but it just was an awful pen.
He's not going to drop Bruno for Kobbie.
No, I'm not saying. Clearly, he's not going to do that. It's his skipper as well. So he's.
Do you know what that says to me, Andy? That's almost like him saying, "You ain't playing."
Yeah, I'd rather not have this issue, this debate, this problem. It might be better for you. That's what he's doing there. He's throwing the ball back to the player now. Now, Kobbie Mainoo, a couple of days out of the window closing, I'm sure he still would want to stay. I mean, why can't Kobbie Mainoo play alongside Bruno instead of Casemiro?
Well, that's the role. But the problem is he's so I don't know if arrogant's the word, maybe it is, Ruben Amorim, that he will not move away from this formation, right? That it must work for him, right? And he will not accept any other formation other than the one he's trying to put across the three at the back, right?
You've spent a lot of money with those forward boys, with Šeško,
But
Cunha,
we've still
and
got the wrong
Mbeumo.
players for those positions, right? Because Mbeumo can not only, but his best position is out wide of a three. We saw that when he was at Brentford. And the Man United are playing incredibly narrow. That it's not going to work. The problem is, I think, as in a United fan looking at our squad, is we've got a really good team if we revert to 4-3-3, right? If we went four at the back with De Ligt and, say, Lenny Yoro, and then Luke Shaw, and then Diogo Dalot one's the other side on the right, and then the three in the middle, you could have all three. You could have Kobbie Mainoo, you could have Casemiro and Bruno.
Yep.
And then you've got width with Mbeumo one side, Cunha the other, and Šeško up top. Right? Now, I'm not saying we're going to win this and do that, but that team, that 4-3-3, for my money, is so much better looking in every area than the ones I'm constantly seeing and getting frustrated with week in, week out with Manchester United.
I just on the back of Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, on the back of those guys seemingly not having a role at Old Trafford, and again being a bit of an issue. I mean, Marcus Rashford is at Barcelona at the moment with a view to potentially a deal. They might well send him back in a year's time.
Yeah.
We don't know. Jadon Sancho, as we speak, I mean, I can't think of a player that's disappointed more over the last few years than what he has at Chelsea and at United. So when you've got someone like Kobbie Mainoo, who is, to me, I think is suited to Premier League football. Some players aren't, even though they're homegrown. Some don't always. You don't always feel their best attributes are suited to our game here. Kobbie Mainoo's is. Again,
There was a time, I think it was under Ten Hag. It might have been under Ruben Amorim, but I'm pretty sure it was Ten Hag, when we had Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho and Rasmus. Right?
Yes.
And a lot was made of the three youngsters coming in. There's that picture of Garnacho sat on the hoardings and the other two young kids coming. And it was like, oh, the future's bright here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of that, right? That won't be happening.
Yep.
I just wonder if Kobbie Mainoo doesn't start tonight, right? I think that sends out a gigantic message. I will be stunned if he doesn't start tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be absolutely stunned.
well, he'll be the player himself would be then resigned to the fact that he's hoping something's going to happen for him in the next 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it is.
I hope it doesn't.
You know, I'm still quite surprised that United can't seem to have a young player like that in their camp, in their squad, potentially playing. Let's say Kobbie Mainoo plays 20 games in a season. I'm not saying the player will be delighted with that, but it's the kind of an acceptable number, I think, for a young player now.
Were you there at the weekend, right? Fulham game.
I was at the Fulham game.
We needed a goal.
Yes.
And he had Xerxes. I'm not a fan of, but Xerxes plays further forward.
Yes.
And Kobbie Mainoo on the bench. And he left both of them there and brought on two defenders.
He did. He brought on two defenders at the end. He did. Didn't want to lose the game.
Try and win it. That's the problem. Go and win it.
And the fans were actually going, attack.
And this is why I think that tonight is almost irrelevant for Manchester United, right? I'm not poo-pooing the League Cup, but the reason I say it's almost irrelevant, if we don't beat Burnley at home at the weekend, that's a far bigger upset and a far bigger problem than losing against Grimsby tonight. We shouldn't lose against Grimsby.
Well,
even if we put out a second-rate side, we should win comfortably.
And also, with the squad and the players that you have, and I include Kobbie Mainoo in that, you should be able to win tonight and you should be able to negotiate. Should, not easily, but you should be able to find a way to negotiate past Burnley too. You should, at Old Trafford. Of course, everyone would be expecting that. But I don't understand Ruben Amorim's thought process with this player. If it's purely finances, if it's money, if it's PSR, if it's something else, then that's a fact. But if it's just that he don't fancy him, what's he seeing from Ugarte that is so super duper than I'm not seeing from Kobbie Mainoo?
I'll make a statement now, a little prediction. Man United have had this tradition, I think going back to the 30s, where we've always had an academy player in the squad.
In and around it.
The match day squad. Right? Not around it, in it.
Right.
On the bench or starting. We've always had that, and we've not missed a game. I have a feeling that will end this season. Yeah. I have a feeling there will not be one of the young kids coming through in a matchday squad at Man United this season.
And what message are you actually saying to those kids that are at United now? Again, I think it's difficult. If you've got a very, very talented young lad who's on the verges, on the edges of it at 17s and 18s, well, all of a sudden, when you start to see what goes on with some of these other boys, it does make you question perhaps whether or not that is the right vehicle for your son.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.